Session, guys. Hope you're doing well. We've got our tier 1 traders here and we've got the rest of the world here, and I've found that these sessions have been very popular. We've got a lot of requests to keep doing these sessions. So although the markets are pretty choppy at the moment, there's a lot of sideways movement going on. We're gonna go through the same pairs, same approach, analyze the markets the same way, look for trading setups that meet the trade plan rules, and kind of go through it in a consolidation approach. So it's something a little bit different. It also gives a chance for everyone who isn't in the tier 1 live session to ask questions, engage with our traders as well. So that's great. If you've got any trades on the radar, let me know. If you're looking at anything, watching anything, practicing anything. Good morning, Canary lad. If you've got anything on at all, let me know, and we'll look at those as we go. I know Adam Logan here said he's got a small bat pattern 1 hour pound dollar complete this morning. Target 2's 139.05. So he's looking at that. Morning, Magnus. Hope you're well. And yeah, we're gonna get through the pairs the same way. So if this is the first time you're watching, make sure you like the channel, subscribe to the channel and everything. Do all the things so that we can get this out to more people. We really are trying to raise awareness in quality education when it comes to trading, because to be frank with you, there's a lot of people losing money and you don't need to. It doesn't need to be that way. It doesn't need to be that way. So let's have a discussion, a sensible discussion. The only fear of going out to YouTube is there is a lot of toxicity out there. You know, we invite in the undead of the trading world. But that's what we're willing to do in order to spark a conversation, at least, even if it doesn't go in. Morning, Jason. Thanks for doing these live streams. Much appreciated. You're welcome. So today's a bit different. So if you go back and look at some of the other sessions that we've run, there's been quite a few structure-based opportunities. There's been some trend opportunities. There's been some ascending channels and things like that, where they've really played out nicely and there's been a lot on the radar. But today, there's a lot of sideways movement. It's very choppy, particularly in the Aussie Cad, Aussie dollar, pound dollar, euro dollar, pound Aussie, pound yen, dollar yen, New Zealand dollar. There's a few things, but we're gonna work through them anyway. If you guys have got anything you want to look at, let me know. I did get a question. Some of you guys were asking about the Trade Nation platform, because you saw the video I did. I can tell you that I was in a meeting with Stu yesterday, and they're in the process of launching on TradingView. So that is a massive step for them. They're going to be having basically the functionality of TradingView with their broker. So that's amazing. Fixed spreads. The great thing about that is the problem with backtesting is you can never test spreads. Okay. So with having a broker that has fixed spreads like that, it allows you to be spot on with your backtesting. Very, very accurate, and have more confidence going forward. So I'm excited for that. That's a good move for them. And there's also an update coming next week, I think, where you can actually place trades on the chart and things like that, and move the orders and stuff. So that's pretty good as well. Right, we're gonna go over to the first market in just a sec. Has anyone got any questions or any setups that they want to share with us? YouTube quality rocks, says Junior. Yeah, we're shooting this this isn't 4K, I think it's 1080p, 50 frames a second. But it's pretty good. So hopefully the stream looks good. I was looking at EURUSD break, close and retest of 50 SMA on daily 1. CAD is weak. Morning. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to bring on the charts. I have to remember what one it is. Let's go to this one. Nope, not that one. Bear with me. I know why that is. Anyone else got anything they want to share? Pound bullish. By the way, if you've got any setups on the radar and you're looking at anything and you want to share that with us, just make sure that you give us as much information as possible about the thing. All right, so that we're not back and forth trying to figure out what's what. Because if we're trying to figure out what's what, you know, it's going to take up time. It's going to take up valuable time. So I'm going to turn on, there we go. Turn on that. Let's make me a little bit bigger. There you go. Haven't been in the London live streams in a while due to scheduling clash. I normally catch the New York streams instead. Hope you've been doing well, Jason. Same to you, Jack. Are these live sessions the same as paid sessions, or is there any difference? Well, the normal live rooms were a bit more kind of in depth with the markets, because when we come out here we get into more conversations and we're not as focused, but I thought it'd be a good opportunity to do it in here today because it's sideways movement. There's a lot of choppiness, so it's a great opportunity to the idea for these sessions is really more to invite conversation about trading. Inside the live room it's a lot more focused. We're focused on the trading, but yeah, we still get into conversations in the live room. Morning, Aussie Cad Bear Gartley on the 1 hour. Didn't get triggered yesterday. Okay, so Logan's had a pound dollar bat and a Gartley on the Aussie dollar. All right, so now everyone can see the chart, everyone can see the screen, everyone can see me. Let's get stuck in. We're going to start on the Aussie Cad. By the way, those of you who've been following along, particularly in the live room, we were looking at this channel, ascending flag. Sorry, this compression channel here. We had a little dip to the downside and a rally. This was the analysis from last week. So that's where we got with that. I wanted to keep that on just to show you guys, in case you guys were following that along. We had about a 53% chance of dipping to the downside and about a 68% chance of retesting the highs. Okay, so I always say when you get these setups, it's very similar to, let me bring this out on full screen actually. When we get these types of setups, and you've probably seen many of these before, because if you watch my Bitcoin setups or any of my trading view ideas, there's about a 68% chance of testing the highs on this pair. But the dip down, the initial dip down or the rally straight to the upside was about 50-50. I went back and done a load of testing on this and found that there was actually higher probability of an initial dip down before the rally to the upside. So there's your dip down, there's the rally to the upside, and perfect play out. Caesar says, going through the course all over again. I'll start back testing in August. Elbow cough. Good man. US dollar, Bear Gartley on the 1 hour. Excellent. Checking in from Antarctica. London session should be good today. Excellent. Thanks for joining us. So what we're going to do is we're going to scrub this off. We're going to go through each of these pairs that you see with the flag, with the orange flag down the right-hand side. And we're going to be doing top-down analysis. We'll be using the daily time frame, the 4-hour time frame, and the hourly time frame. We may drop down to the lower, the 15, to check for entry executions or trade management. I don't think we're going to be doing much of that today. I may be wrong. We'll take a look. In fact, there's a little double top right here, which is a bit of a decision point. So let's take a look at this first. First thing I'm going to do is remove the drawing tools. And no change whatsoever on the daily time frame. So if we're looking at forming a bias, a thesis, we have been in this consolidation zone here since, back in May. Okay, so if we're in this consolidation zone, all we can do here is predict further consolidation until price shows us otherwise, or we look at structure-based setups on this structure consolidation. So we look at a potential setup at the lows, look at a potential setup at the highs, to get counter moves or to get structure-based setups and take small pieces of profit. I wouldn't personally be trading these down to the support and resistance zones or up to the resistance zones. I'd just be looking for quick in-out trades. So there's an opportunity, right? Now we're at the high, and if you look left, we've got lots of resistance here. Lots of resistance here. So, what can we do? What can we do? We can look for potential shorts, right? So if we go to the 4-hour, see what you guys are saying. My wife left me today for her boyfriend after I bought AMC. That sounds like a sticky situation. That sounds too complex to even fathom at this time of day. All right, so this is the 4-hour. You can see this very, very clearly. Okay, 4-hour time frame. We are at previous structure. So remember, this isn't going to be the highest probable trade setup. This is just an opportunity for those of you guys who are looking for opportunities in consolidation. This isn't going to be the most amazing setup because we've got some choppy structure looking left. It's not at what I consider a major structure level. I've got key levels in this market that I pay attention to, and I'm much more aggressive if we test those levels, but this isn't one of them. But we do have this zone of previous structure. So if we just bring on our rectangle tool here and go across, you can see that we're at structure. Okay, now if we drop down to the 60, what you're going to see is, well, one, we had the ascending channel. I don't know if any of you guys caught that, but we had this ascending channel here. One of my favorite patterns, one of my favorite setups. We had the channel there, broke to the downside. Again, you're squeezing a small bit of profit out. But right now, we're right up in this structure resistance zone. And what I was talking about, lower time frames for order, executions, you can see, to the 60. Sorry, on the 60, you can see that we're actually forming this retest here as well. So this retest. Now, you're going to have to wait for this to close. Why are we going to have to wait for it to close? Because if we close above this high, that's an invalid second retest. And if you don't know what I'm talking about here, I'm talking about double tops. And if you go and watch the double tops video I did on this channel, I did a complete lesson on that. All right, so you can go and watch that, and you can go and learn all about double tops. Barry says, when looking for additional confirmation using additional indicators, do you also actively look for indications that go against your theory, or you're only looking for indicators that support it? I am looking for reasons. So my approach to any trading situation is looking for reasons not to take a trade, okay? But don't confuse that with looking for opposing analysis to my analysis. There's a difference. So I use top-down analysis. I use the higher time frame to form that bias, and then from then on, I'm only looking for trades in that direction, or in that thesis. Okay. So I don't then look for reasons that it, you know, to look for other trades. What I am looking for is clues and keys that show me that it's a weak setup. Okay, that it's not a strong setup, and I'll use that to potentially stay out of the trade. But by the time you've formed a trade plan, this is why a trade plan is so important. You don't have to do any of that. You have a rule for it, you put it into the trade plan, and then every trade you take is binary. It's very if-then, and then you don't have to worry. So at first, you want to be looking at high-quality setups and reasons not to take trades. You want to keep the same bias and use that multi-time frame analysis, but the idea is that you put all of that into a plan so that you're just following a plan, and then there's no ambiguity, there's no, you know, subjectivity. It's just telling you what to do. I can just see a music sign and Jason in the far right corner. Chart's tiny. You have to maximize that or watch it on YouTube. I apologize, it's not possible to see anything on the camera view. You just maximize the camera view, or you can go and watch on YouTube or Twitch. Anyone on Twitch? Don't think so. Hopefully that's well explained. It didn't seem well explained to me, but there you go. Makes sense in my head. So the reason we have to wait for this, for the hour, so there's about 6 minutes left, is if this closes below this high, this initial high here, that will be a valid double top, all right? And a valid double top, you know, you can enter next bar market. The spike is a bit annoying because obviously stops still need to go. Stop loss still needs to go above the highs, okay? But next bar market, let's just say we close right at the high, 93.67. Your stop will have to go above the high, and ideally above this previous high. And then the problem is targets, because as I said, we've had this ascending channel here, and that move's been made. You don't want to be greedy on these structure consolidation shorts because they're not high quality. As I say, they're not as high quality as a directional move or a trend continuation or a major structure level for a structure-based short. This is a bit of a choppy zone. So if you're looking for targets, you really want to only be looking at structure, or I would only look at inside structure. And the first one is here at 93.50. And again, 93.50 is a psychological number. So you want to get your targets a little bit above that. So 93.52, say, allowing for the spread, which means if you're entering here, okay, and that's your target, well, your stop loss is going to be up here. So it's a 1-to-1 at best. All right. And is it really, really high probability? Not really. So do I want to get involved in it? No, it's not a setup that I would want to get involved with. All right, but it is there. It is there. So that's really all we've got on the Aussie CAD. There's nothing else. We're still in that zone. I definitely don't want to buy it because we have to break through that resistance zone. I'm not excited about shorting it because of the reasons I've just explained. So yeah, on to the next. Let's get to the Aussie dollar. Let's go over to the Aussie dollar. Let's bring the daily back up here. And you can see the choppiness, right? You can see the choppiness. Let me know in the comments what you guys do with choppy markets. Let me know what you do with choppy markets. Do you trade consolidation? Do you trade off of the channels? Do you trade advanced patterns? Let me know what you do. Stay out, says Aussie. Yeah, of course, stay out. Another one. Adam Logan loves it. Adam Logan trades loads of patterns. Does anyone have a link to the YouTube translation? Please share here. Thank you. Adam Logan says, looking at a bullish deep Gartley 1 hour, pound dollar X 13800, waiting for D-leg completion. Jason Lindley says advanced patterns, got to love them. Higher time frame bias bar on daily one, says Casbah. On Aussie dollar. Daily one and hour four. Let us know what pair, let us know what you're looking at, what direction. If you just go to my YouTube channel, you should just see it streaming, I think. I think that's how it works. Yeah. Go to the home page of my YouTube and you'll see it. And if you're getting value from these, definitely give it a like. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for more. So you get notified when we do these again. We don't do these every week, but there's the link. All right. Looking at pound yen sells. Any thoughts? What? Daniel, give us as much information on why you're looking for a pound yen sell. Caesar says, when are you looking for RSI divergence? Do you look at the wicks or the body? Do you look at the wicks or the body? I'm only looking for RSI divergence on 2 occasions. One is on, well, actually 3 occasions. One occasion is on my swing trading, which is a reversal setup and a trend setup. Not going to go into that, but the main reasons I use them in my intraday trading is one for ascending channels and descending channels. And all I'm looking at is that we've got divergence as opposed to what price is doing. So if we've got an ascending channel, at the start of that channel, I want to see RSI at an overbought range, and I want to see RSI at an oversold, or back into, I want to see divergence on the RSI at the high of that channel. Okay, same in reverse for a descending channel. And the other way I use divergence on the RSI is for double tops and double bottoms. So I want to see the same thing. I want to see equal tests of the low or the high, which means, you know, I'm not really looking at a candle. I'm just looking at a valid double top or a valid double bottom, and then looking at RSI to see that we've got divergence. So we just need equal tests of price, higher highs, higher lows, or lower highs on the divergence on the RSI. There is a difference between regular divergence and hidden divergence, and one's used for trending continuation setups, one's used for reversal setups. I recommend that you just go and spend some time looking up the difference between the two, because that's going to help you out. Again, it's going to help you filter out lower quality trades so you can stay out of those, and then look at higher quality setups so that you keep more profit. And that's it. You get involved with higher probability setups. Okay. So we're going to look at Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar, very similar in terms of sideways movement. Yes, this is a bit more of a bearish pair. Okay, so I was looking for shorts on this. I was looking for shorts ever since we broke this neck line. We put in a lower low lower close, then we put in a new lower low lower close, then a new lower low lower close. And the problem is right now is we're just moving sideways. So you definitely don't want to be getting in right now into a short, because you know you're in the middle of nowhere. We're starting to move sideways now, so that setup is kind of, if you're getting in now, you're getting in a little bit late, and I don't think there's much reason to get involved now. You've basically missed your entry. I'm not saying you don't have rules to do that. I just don't have rules to do that. So now we can just take a breather. We can look at the overall direction of the market, and you can see, yes, we are going bearish. Okay, where's the next level of structure? Well, we've got some inside structure here. We've got some structure here looking left. There's definitely some room for movement that we're likely to see, just based on historical price behavior. So in the meantime, we can bear that in mind. We can look for shorting opportunities here and maybe use that higher time frame bias to extend and squeeze more profits out of a trade setup, a short trade setup, if we can get one. Okay, so what I mean by that is instead of some conventional in-out, you know, one-to-one move, perhaps because of the bias, you start to hold on to the position a little bit longer and maybe trail stops or something like that. But at the moment, you know, we can look for shorting setups in this consolidation zone. Now, I'm just going to quickly look on the 4 hour because many of you are really, really keen on ratio patterns. I know Adam Logan's trading ratio patterns. And if you're using these ratio patterns, you're going to see what's known as a bat formation, very, very popular pattern amongst pattern traders at the 886 there, which would be the completion point for a bat formation. Now, this happens to be a short pattern. Okay, it happens to be a short pattern which goes in line with the bias, the overall bias. Okay, but what it means is you may have a rule or a plan that allows you to, instead of taking conventional pattern targets, you just leave it and maybe you take targets at the low. You know, maybe that's how you approach it. So there's a little pattern trade for you guys. Francis says, morning Jason, currently testing daily pullback to EMA with entry on a hammer / shooting stars across 22 futures charts. Excellent. What would be the best way to not accumulate multiple entries at one time with Sod's Law saying that it will all go wrong? So you just have more, so you're using one EMA. I would consider using another EMA as well, because what you want to do is you want to filter out high probability setups. So if you're using the 10, you know, maybe add the 50 or, you know, a 200. Add another EMA to that to add power and filters to that setup. The next thing you can do is have correlation risk. Okay, so if you're in one pair or one currency, you can't enter another one. So you can start, you know, out of... I worked out that on my daily swing trading trend continuation strategy, I worked out that I could have about 14,000 opportunities per month if I was to just, you know, just do the bare bones of the strategy. But the chart, it's the thing is, out of every combination of all 28 major currency pairs and minor crosses, you could have thousands and thousands of opportunities. Okay, the idea is that you add filters and indicators that give, like, that basically bring power to your setup. All right, bring an edge to your setup so that you're not there taking everything. And I don't know if you guys saw the last presentation I did on self-review in your trading and journaling, but I spoke about those concepts there. The daily predictions, making a daily prediction, following it along, how many you know, different entry types. So there's lots of things that you can do to make sure that you're taking the absolute best setups, and then correlation risk to stop you from taking, you know, to kind of manage your risk across the whole portfolio so that you're not trigger happy and you know, potentially losing 10%, 15% on one day because every trade lost in one day. That's definitely not a good approach. By the way, you guys are into the trader coffee break. That'll be out later today. We had a break from it last week, but today it's back, and we are going to be talking about the biggest mistakes traders make. So you guys let me know what big mistakes you've made. So there's the pattern trade. What I want to do now is just look for kind of some lower time frame. I'm going to go down to the 60-minute and just look for any other setups there. All right, because we're only looking for consolidation. What else do we have? Have anything else here? Let's bring on the fib retracement tool. Really just looking for these advanced patterns, all right? which you guys love because of the objective nature of the rules of engagement. Once you learn them and understand them, you find that there's so much opportunity. So much opportunity. Will that be on YouTube? Yes. If you go and subscribe to the Trader Coffee Break, it's a separate channel. Myself and Akil Stokes, we just talk about trading topics once a week. It's recorded live. We just upload the thing and it's done. And it will be live streamed in the future. We're just waiting for Akil to sort his technology out. and then we'll be good to go. So another pattern here. 74.37. Your stops will obviously have to go below X. Okay. If you use inversion based stop loss, you can start looking at A to X back up. Depending on what you use, some of you use 127, 113 is what we commonly use at tier 1. 74.23 would be the stop. Entries at 74.37, and then best case scenario targets. And I say that because you'd have to trail with price. 74.56 for target 1s, and those of you that take conventional target 2s would be up at 74.88. So another little setup there. A little way off. Nothing to, again, there's really not a lot to call home about here. It's just we're just going through the motions. So let's go to the dollar. Stick this back on the daily. And bring this down. Yeah, the Trader Coffee Break. Go to the Trader Coffee Break channel, subscribe. Let me know that you've subscribed. And yeah. So the daily time frame on the pound dollar. One of you guys said that you had something on this. I know Adam Logan had a bat pattern on this. But on the daily, would you say this is bullish, bearish? What would you say? What we're looking at? Subscribed. Awesome, Barry. Great to have you. Yep, the Trader Coffee Break is a definite channel that you want to subscribe to. It's going to be one of the best resources for trader topics, trader discussions. Aussie dollar, I have a Gartley 4 hours waiting. Yep, that's from Lena. All right, so this is the 4 hour time frame, and you can see we're in this channel here. Again, you're going to be looking at structure-based shorts, structure-based longs, based on the channel, if that's something that you can trade. I'd prefer it if it was vertical structure consolidation, because I know this pair well. I know this pair respects structure consolidation well. This is more of a slanted channel. I don't like trading off of those types of channels. Although you can see, just because I don't do it, it doesn't mean that you can't make a profitable system out of it. You can see right here we've had a double top at the channel. See here we had a double top at the channel. Okay, so there's ways of getting involved, and it obviously does respect these levels. It's just building a consistent plan that allows you to do it. And I haven't put the effort into building a system like that. I much prefer vertical. Horizontal structure consolidation, not vertical. What am I talking about? So that's it on that. So what I'll be looking for here is certain advanced patterns that I'm allowed to take here, or down here at 37.60 could be an opportunity for a structure-based long. Okay, so we're not there yet. We're miles off there yet. So I'm looking for this to be tested down here. If I just bring out the rectangle tool, this zone here is much more interesting than this zone up here, because I've built plans based on horizontal structure. I haven't built plans on diagonal structure, other than ascending channels and descending channels, which are completely different anyway. So we need to push down. We need to test this low before I'm even interested, and then I'm going to look down on an hourly time frame, possibly a 15-minute time frame to look for an entry, but it's way off, isn't it? It's a little way off yet. Push says, hi Jason, how do you close the pairs? How do you choose the pairs, sorry, to trade? Do you go through all pairs and then form a bias before the week starts? Or you check all the pairs daily? Yeah, I check all the pairs daily. Here's the thing. On my swing trading account, I trade 27 pairs, but it's all the daily time frame. And when you go through that on a Sunday night, imagine this in real time, because it seems like a lot, but you go through 27 pairs, okay, and you do your analysis on 27 pairs, which if you've got a swing trading system, it doesn't take that long anyway, but let's just say you go through 27 pairs. Every day after that is just following up. So am I looking for a setup here? Yes, yes, no, no, yes, no, yes, yes. The next day, have we met this rule? Yes, yes, no, yes, yes, no, yes, right? Now I've got yes, yes, no. So, and then it just changes day by day. Every candle is a day. So it might seem like a lot, but actually you're just updating a watch list. All right. Now with these, I don't trade as many pairs. On my intraday account, which is over on my Ninja Trader there, I only trade eight pairs. Okay, so the 8 pairs, I'm doing some pre-market analysis in the morning, and I'm still forming a watch list. Because I've been doing it so long, I kind of know what's likely to play out if it does play out sooner rather than later because of where we are in the markets, what news is coming out, if that's likely to trigger something. Also, if we're forming a flag, for instance, the chances are that that could move quicker than if we're just in this type of thing, right? Because a flag breaks out. So you want to pay attention to that. So the idea is that you're not glued to your screen looking for things that you don't need to be looking for. So that comes with discretion, that comes with experience, that comes with looking and going through the pairs 3 times a day, every day, forever. But the answer to your question is I do pre-market analysis every morning. I look at the setups that I think are closest to playing out. I keep an eye on them. The other ones I check, twice a day. And that's it. Morning, Tony. How you doing? Hope you're well. So let's go to the pound dollar then. Back into the pound dollar. This would be the area I'm looking at. For those of you guys that are familiar with advanced patterns, X, A, B, C, D. This is what we call a Gartley formation. So there you go, right? If you don't trade off of structure and you're not waiting for price to push down here before you start looking for RSI divergence or a pin bar or a doji or tweezer bottoms or a double bottom or a descending channel, all of those kind of at market approaches. If you trade these patterns, you've just set a limit order. You've just got a set and forget there, setting a limit order down here, stops below the lows. That's it, you're done. And target 2s could potentially be up at that, whoops, that was the wrong button. Target 2s could potentially be up around that channel somewhere. But there's a set and forget. That would be a buy limit order, which you just set on, and then you just come back to it later. Or you can set an alert as well to let you know if it's triggered a certain. Great thing about this platform is you can set alerts, right? So add alert when it's crossing. You can choose it to email you, SMS you. You can use webhook URLs to integrate with something else. You can play a sound. You can SMS, okay? And you can choose whether it's crossing or coming up, coming down, less than, greater than, moving up, moving down. And then you just hit create, okay? And now you don't, now you've got your order down here, but you're being made aware before, so that you don't have to sit there stuck in front of your charts all day. Because I don't know about you, but that's not why I started trading. I didn't start to get into trading to be stuck at my screens all day. Some people do, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's I just didn't, that wasn't my motivation. So that's a great way of not being stuck at your charts. You can have these alerts there. So that's about it, I think, on the pound dollar. Did anyone say they had anything else? I don't have too much else to talk about. Yes, you could go through and spot these patterns everywhere. I mean, they're everywhere, right? That's the beauty of them. Another deep Gartley there. That's the beauty of these setups. They're everywhere in consolidation, so it's a great system to trade. But we're just not quite there yet. So we'll come back to this one. Maybe we'll break this B leg and complete this deep Gartley. This is a deep Gartley pattern, this smaller one. So that's nice for reward to risk. We'll come back to that one if anything happens. And not a lot's happening. Not a lot is happening. So if you guys want to talk about anything or you got any setups, let me know. This is... Hello, Naomi. Hope you're doing well. Look, a great thing about doing this live stream, guys, is to invite debate, invite conversation, invite, you know, thought-provoking subject matter that we can discuss here that you don't normally get the opportunity to talk to people about. We've now got all of the tier 1 traders in here. We've got all of you guys, you traders on YouTube. We've got traders here on Twitch, traders here on Periscope, Twitter. We're all here. So it's a great opportunity to start bringing up conversation. All I'd say is just keep it high level. You know, there's so many trolls and just awfulness in the realm of YouTube in particular. This isn't one of those communities, and I know you're used to those communities where there's scams and there's fakers and there's all this kind of slimy, you feel a bit dirty after you've watched a video. This isn't one of those communities, okay? So if you want to do that, save that for Pip Daddy or, you know, Pippin Ain't Easy or one of those guys. Your take on gold. We'll take a look at gold. We'll take a look at gold at the end. Euro dollar, same, very, very similar, okay, to the pound dollar. Difference being is we did actually have a break and close below, all right, and the next low is down here. So if I've got more of a short bias on the euro dollar than I do on the pound dollar, and the next level of structure is down here. Okay, so the next level of structure support is down at 1710, and you can see if we just zoom in here, you can see that we've had a lower low and a lower close, right? So that's great. The exponential moving averages are fanning out nicely, indicating a strengthening in directional move, okay? So let's go down. We've now formed a bias. We've now said, right, short, bearish. Want to look at bearish setups, okay? Very, very simple. 4-hour time frame. We've now got a lower low, lower close. So who's familiar with my Graystone trend continuation setup? Is anyone? I know quite a few of you trade it. There are 3 ways to enter this. Here's way 1. There's actually 4 ways to enter it. Here's the previous structure support level. Okay, here's the zone for the first chance entry. Okay, now if we've just broken close below down here, let me get rid of that. If we've just broken close down below here and then we've pulled back, do you think this is a good opportunity to enter short at this zone? You guys let me know. Do you think that's a good opportunity to enter short? And let me know why as well. And this is why we have the three chance attack. The reason this wouldn't be an ideal place to enter is because we've only just broken close below. So if we're entering here, if you can get a first chance entry, chances are you're not going to get the reward to risk that you want. All right, you're not going to get the reward to risk you want. So we then go for the second chance entry. Now the second chance entry in this particular setup, because we've only just broken close below slightly, the second chance entry is all of this zone here. All right, which at a glance doesn't look like it's that attractive because it's too broad. But having said that, it is attractive because we can make it work. If our target zone is down here, let's just say our target zone is at this low as a trend continuation trader, okay? All we really want to know is where our stops are going for the second chance entry, and do we want more than a 1-to-1 reward to risk? Yes. So we go up to the highest high of the pullback. We see that's 1881. We want to place an ATR based stop above that high. Okay. And we want to get our stop, an ATR based stop above that high, and we want a minimum of a 1-to-1. Well, I can see that we're trading up here now, so that is more than a 1-to-1. Okay, if you bring on a fib retracement tool and you just go from where your stop's going, the two certain things we know right now are where the stop needs to go and where the target needs to go based on the current candle, because you take the ATR from the current candle. So we can see the 50% is here. So we know that our target is bigger than our risk. Easy, right? Very, very simple. So now we can say, well, I know that we're in a good position now, but where's the lowest I can enter? Well, we just drew that out. We drew out that 50%. So we now can refine the kill zone. Let's call this pink. Let's call it yellow. Okay, and now we've got the kill zone there. We know that we can enter anywhere above that yellow, the low of that yellow zone, and still get a 1-to-1 reward to risk. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. All right. So now we're in the zone. How do we enter in the second chance entry? Well, it's a lower low, lower close. Okay. And what do I mean by lower low, lower close? I mean that the candle, one candle has to close and have a lower low and a lower close below the previous candle. So do we have one here? No. 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 Okay. What we want to see is a push up. Okay, and then a lower low, lower close candle somewhere in this yellow zone. And if we get that, we know 1, we've got a high probability of a short. 2, we've got more than a 1-to-1 reward to risk. All right, and we're in. We're in the game. Finally, there's a third chance entry. And the third chance entry will be up at these highs in this small zone here. And the reason it's a shallow zone is because it's a conservative zone. If we've pulled all the way back up to that zone, there is a weakening in the trend, which means we need to be conservative. We want tight stops, massive reward to risk, because we know these ones don't play out as much, but when they do, they make up a big portion of profit. Okay? Take care, Caesar. So that's the third chance entry, and that's where we'll be dropping down to a lower time frame to look for that double top entry. All right, and then tightening stops. Target's still down at the lows based on the trading time frame, and your stops above the high of the double top. So lots of ways we can enter. We're right now in the zone 2, the second chance entry. We'll see how this goes. This is a trend continuation setup. And if you want to learn more about this, I teach the whole strategy on my YouTube channel. You can go to YouTube, just go to Jason Graystone, trend continuation, and you'll see the whole damn thing. Copy link address, here you go. There it is. All right, so you can go and click the whole thing. Watch the whole thing, 5-part series. And I'll walk you step by step through this entire thing, all right? So let's go to the Aussie dollar. I think what we're gonna do now is we'll take a quick coffee break, getting a bit parched. Need to refill the old coffee. Pound movement says Drakey. Good timing, says Tony. It's always time for a coffee or tea with you, mate. Yeah, we've got some movement on the markets now. So some of these might play out. Some of these setups, look, if we violate this B leg, this could quite easily play out. So we'll keep an eye on this. I'll put a little notification here that we're on a break so you guys know and you're not just sitting in silence. Right, like a pro. Grammarly adverts on TradingView. Coffee break. We'll come back at what's the time? 28. We'll come back at 40. We'll come back at 40. 40 minutes past the hour, 22 the hour. Grab a coffee and we'll be back then. All right, guys, welcome back. Hope you're enjoying this so far. I decided to just stream the whole thing. Sometimes we cut off after the break and we like run the second session on tier 1 platform only, but we'll keep going. Adam said, had a bearish back, come close on pound yen yesterday. 1 hour X at 153.48, missed the entry by around 4 or 5 pips. That's annoying. Yeah, always annoying when that happens, but it happens. So we're just keeping an eye on some of these setups. Just if you've just joined us, yes, we had a valid double top here on the Aussie Cad. So you would enter at 93.67. You would have entered there, okay? Next bar market, and your targets, in my personal opinion, would be at structure just 2 pips above that 93.50 level at 93.52. So we'd be looking at targets around 93.52. Looks like we're on our way there. So good luck if you got involved. That's not a trade that I would take personally. Aussie dollar, we're not really looking at too much. Pound dollar, there's a couple of patterns. We're seeing some bearish movement. I think there's some news out on the pound to do with unemployment. I think there was some report coming out on the pound as well, which I think is causing this. But we've just penetrated the B leg, so we've violated that B leg. We're now on the way to the D completion. We'll keep an eye on that. Those of you who are looking at getting involved with this, you can literally just set and forget. So it'd just be create new order. You'd be looking at a buy limit order. Okay, and then you'd be looking at whatever your position size was and you just hit buy, that's it. And then that sits there waiting as an instruction to your broker to say, I want to get in at the best possible price around this area here, this price point here, all right? And of course you want to set a stop loss below the lows as well. So if you're using the TradingView platform, you just click on it, add a stop loss, okay? Pick where your stop loss is going to go. So below the low, 37.88, 37.88, done. Now you can just forget about that for a bit. All right, got my nice new I Love Toff mug. I love Toff. Tears of Freedom. Congratulations to everyone who made the Independence Day special intake. Had a great meeting last night. What EMAs do you use? On this chart, in fact, on this account or on this approach, on this style, on this kind of portfolio, I don't actually use moving averages for trading. I have them on the chart because I use them in my swing trading account. They're the 20, the 50, and the 8, the 20, and the 50. So the 8 EMA, 20 EMA, 50 EMA. So they're the ones that I use. So we're going to go to the pound Aussie now. We're going to go back to the multi-time frame analysis view. Make sure that the daily time frame is selected at the top. And what you're looking at is the bird's eye view at the top. So this is the daily time frame. Okay, daily. Then the 4 hour, which would be a trading time frame. And then the hourly, which would be classed as the lower time frame. Now I do trade multiple time frames. So don't confuse that because I can use the 4 hours my higher, 60 as my trading, and 15 as my entry, okay, my execution time frame, my lower time frame. So don't get too wrapped up in that. Don't get too confused by that. What we're looking at here is just these 3 time frames, all right? So pound Aussie, are we bullish or bearish? You tell me. Adam says, does the trend continuation strategy work well on indices? Yes. In fact, Naomi, I don't know if Naomi's still in here, but she trades some indices. All right, let's get rid of the chat just to no one's talking. So look, we're bullish. We've broken and closed above this previous high, broken close above this previous high, but there's a lot of bearish pressure. Okay, there's a lot of rejection here, and I wouldn't feel comfortable getting long because of where we're at structure. Okay, so because of how price is behaving, if we look at the 4 hour, let's go out to let's go out here, go to the 4 hour. We're seeing a hold here, right? Yes, we've got these tweezer tops, this fake break to the upside. This is what I call a fake break, where we have the big break and then we close all the way down where we left off. That's a warning sign. And when we was talking earlier about trying to find reasons not to enter a trade, that's one of them. You know, usually we see a rollover following that move, or a rally if it's in the other direction. Okay, so looking at this, all I'm really interested in is a structure long off of this structure zone. Even that isn't very attractive for me, because with the pound Aussie, it's a big pair in terms of ATR. So you're going to have quite a big risk on the table to get involved with this, because we've got this big spike low here. All right, big spike low here. You're going to have stops below that, ideally. And, you know, where's your target going? So it's not the most attractive range for me. But I can look for certain patterns. I don't trade all patterns on this pair. There's a couple that I trade, and we can look for those, but it doesn't look like there's any. I've got nothing on my notes for this pair. So unless you guys have got anything, then we're pretty quick on this one. Right, there's no pattern setups, there's no structure-based setups. So far, we've got a trend continuation on the euro. We've got an advanced pattern, couple of advanced pattern, Gartley bullish patterns on the pound. We've got nothing on the Aussie dollar, and we've got a double top which rolled over nicely. Look at that. See, look, just because I say that it isn't for me, it doesn't mean it's not a good setup. Okay, this is a pat yourself on the back moment where you predict the move, you identify what's likely to happen next, you make a prediction, and it happens, but you're not involved. But guess what? You haven't lost money. So, so there you go. But well done if you caught it. It looks like it's rolling over nicely in your favor. And if you've just joined us, go back and watch the beginning of this video where we break down the Aussie Cad. All right, let's remove these drawing tools. Nice 3-bar reversal for sure. Yeah, good point. So look, even if you don't like the double top and you didn't like the ascending channel, if we close down here, you've then got a 3-bar reversal, which means that could be the entry for you. You know, for me, it's all going to depend on target taking and structure positioning. So the targets would still be here. So it's, if you're getting a 3-bar reversal, obviously that brings problems with your risk reward. Shep says, why do you draw long short positions instead of using the indicator? What, you mean the tool? This tool? Sheps? Instead of using this? I think that's what you mean. If that's what you mean, I try and keep the charts as clean as possible, and I think those tools add too much noise. So because I'm sharing this with you guys, I try and keep the charts a bit cleaner, because they can get really, really messy and difficult to follow. So I just do it to keep it cleaner. That's it. To remove all the text and stuff. Look at that. I mean, it's quite difficult to see, isn't it? But yeah, it's the same as, like, sometimes instead of using this tool, because it's got the ratios all over it, I won't use that. I'll just use the triangle tool and I'll measure it out just so it looks cleaner. When you publish ideas and things like that, I just think this looks a lot cleaner, right? That's much cleaner. So that's the reason. All right, so we're on the daily time frame on the pound yen. Again, we've had this compression channel, dipped out to the downside. There's likeliness we're going to test the highs. There's a high probability we're going to test the highs. How can we get involved? We already looked at a setup here last week, dip below the stop loss level. But let's remove the tools here. Is anyone looking at anything on the pound yen? I think Adam said he had something on the pound yen, didn't he? Adam Logan. Euro dollar breaking out of corrective phase. Says CC, 4 hour. Yep. For me, we're looking for a continuation on this. So we're looking for a lower low, lower close. Now we could potentially get one of those in this, not in this session, but later on today. Pound dollar, pound Aussie, not much. Pound yen. So pound yen, again, lower low, lower close. Great. We're in a lower low, lower close. Oh, Euro Aussie. Sorry, CC. Is that your name, CC? I like to make it as personal as we can. So if you've got like a real name, if that's your name, then great. But if you've got a real name, let me know. And just brings another level of intimacy to the community. Daily time frame on the pound yen. Lower low, lower close. Okay, following this low. What does that mean? Not a lot really. In terms of the exponential moving averages on the daily time frame, they're crossing. Then there's no directional bias here. Morning. How you doing? I can't read your... I'm going to call you Mohammed. I'm going to call you by your surname because that's much easier to pronounce for me. And I don't want to murder your first name. Pound Aussie, is it a pullback or not? Is what a pullback? We've had a pullback here. We've had a pullback here. We've had a pullback here. This is just consolidation. This is a zone of consolidation waiting for price to do something. Euro Swiss broken support level, says Michael. Cool. Is that so are you looking to get short or are you just making an announcement? Callum. Nice to meet you, Callum. Was meaning we're breaking out of a 4-hour descending channel on the 4-hour time frame. Possible move up to come. Aussie Swiss and dollar CAD. Daily chore strategy. It says push. Short pound dollar. Well, pound dollar's definitely moving to the downside. A couple of patterns setting up there. Euro dollar, we're looking for a short. Aussie CAD, there was a short opportunity this morning. We're on the pound yen now. We've received 100 messages. There you go. Nothing here for me yet, says Tony. So Tony is one of our traders, our professional traders, been around a long time. And he trades the pound yen. He trades the pound yen, one of his primary pairs, if not one of a couple of pairs or one of a few pairs that he trades is the pound yen. And he's not looking at anything. 101 now. Jason says, I got an ABCD pattern on New Zealand CAD. Let's take a look at the New Zealand CAD. Let's flick to someone else's analysis here. If you are looking at any setups, please just ensure that you share with us as much information about the setup as possible so that we're not bouncing back and forward. So like time frame, you know, where it starts, you know, what the time frame and where it starts would be a great start. Callum celebrating. I don't know if you covered WTI. I see a channel break and potential target. 6-ish. I can't read. It's too far away. I would like to hear your opinion on this, please. Cool. Yep, we'll take a look. When you say channel break, what channel are you looking at? Oh, US oil? Okay. Let us know what channel you're looking at. What I can see on US oil is a descending channel. Not at a decent structure level though. Otherwise this would be a really nice setup. If you're bearish on euro dollar 4 hour, but see a long on pound dollar, would you not take either because of correlation between the pairs? Yeah, I would, yep. Yep. I have correlation risk rules for my swing trading account, and I'd be able to be in euro dollar, pound dollar at the same time. I wouldn't be able to be in another dollar pair after that on my swing trading, but all right, so just flicking through, just a bit of a catch up here. Still pushing down on the pound dollar, euro dollar, still looking for a lower low, lower close. That's really the juiciest opportunity for me today so far. Pound yen, we're taking a look at now. The reason I've stalled on pound yen is because we're seeing some movement here, and there may be something to talk about in a few minutes time. So you can see we're putting in a lower low, lower close. Potentially. All right, so let's just bring this out on the... We've had a lower low, lower close on the daily. All right, so if we go to the 60 now, and we're using this as our trading time frame, right? We had this head and shoulders, lower low, lower close, lower low, lower close. In 3 minutes time, if we break and close below that low and we close down here, there's going to be a nice opportunity potentially for a short, but we're going to have wait a little bit because we're going to have to wait for the pullback to get the stop loss. So this could continue on for a little bit, or we could see a pullback, and that's the stage where we'd start looking for all of those first chance, second chance, third chance entries again. Okay, so just what I went over on the euro dollar, third chance, second chance, third chance, entries. Those entry points would be 3 different ways to attack. One of the ways that I didn't mention on the euro dollar, if I go back to the 4 hour, is the fourth chance entry. And if you don't know what the fourth chance entry is, it's simply this: X, A, B, C, D. There you go. That's the aggressive entry that you get there. And you need a complex pullback. What you can't do to get that entry is test these lows. Because if you test these lows, the move's already made. So if you get a C leg that basically tests the A low, that's invalid. The pattern won't be invalid and you can trade the pattern, but for a continuation point of view, the move's been made. So you don't want to be looking at that. So I just thought I'd add that in there. Again, you can go and watch the whole series on that. If you scroll up on these comments, you'll see the link that I posted in a little while back. So here's another trend setup. Is it there yet? No. If you trade lower time frame, you could potentially be looking already. All right, on the 15-minute time frame, because we've got the lower close, we've got the break below. We still have to wait for the pullback, but you're still looking in the same zone. So we've got 1 minute until this closes. If it closes below, high probability, there we go, right? So now we've got a trend continuation set up on our hands on the pound yen. And if you want to learn that whole system before this plays out, you can go and learn it. Just scroll up to the comments, click the link. There's a 5-part video series that I did walking you step by step through every single aspect of this setup. what pair we're speaking on. Right now we're on the pound yen. In the top left-hand side, you should be able to see the ticker, not the ticker, the instrument name, or the pair. Can we send TradingView charts for you to look at our setups? You can do, yeah. What I would say is though, like I get bombarded with setups going, you know, what do you think of my setup? I really don't care. Is the answer. I really don't care about your setup. If you're asking like for confirmation, or am I on the right track, or is this valid, is that valid, am I missing a rule here, missing a rule there, and you want it for peace of mind, great. But if you're just showing me what do you think of this, and it's kind of, you're just looking for me to say, yeah, I don't know what you're looking at, so there's nothing that I can offer you that would give you confidence, if that makes sense. But by all means, send me your charts, send me your analysis, ask me questions that you think are going to help you. If you're asking me, do you agree we're likely to go short because of this setup? You know, you're not really asking for the right reasons. You should know the probability. How do I find you on TradingView? The search system on there makes it really difficult to find a specific person. Yeah, it really does. It really does. I will ping in the link to my profile. There you go. There's the link to my profile. How can you trust RSI? I don't just trade just off of RSI. RSI is an indicator, so it's not there to be, you know, there's no mistrust in an RSI. It is what it is. It tells you the speed of the transactions. And whether something's likely to be overbought, oversold. If you just traded off the RSI, you'd probably go broke very quick. The key is to use it to filter out low probability trades and high probability trades. No link to your profile here. I can see it. It's above. 3 messages above yours. tradingview.com/u/J_Graystone. Can't see any link? Right, let me, okay. Let me try this. Did that work? Yeah, cool. And here's the, oh, that's going to be annoying, isn't it? So here's the video then. Here's video 1 of the trend continuation strategy. I caught you live. Hello everyone, how you doing? Cool. All right, so look, we were just patiently waiting for the pound dollar to break and close below. So we waited to the end of the hour. We're now 5 past the hour. Time's going quick. But we broke and closed below the low, which means there's a trend continuation opportunity here. If you've just joined us, we broke down a massive trend continuation setup on the euro dollar here, which we're looking at. 3 different ways to enter. You can go and watch the rest of this. If you go back and watch the start of this session, if you've just joined us later on, you'll see that. But there's a similar setup here on the pound yen on the 60-minute time frame. We're just a bit further off. Okay, so we've got to wait for the pullback. We've got to get that second chance entry or first chance entry, but it's a little way off yet. So just understand, I'm looking for a short on this pair. I'm looking for the first chance entry first, then the second chance, and we'll probably, we're likely to see that later on today. So nothing I can say now, but let's keep an eye on it and move on to the next. I don't think I missed anything on there. Does anyone else have anything on here? On the pound yen? I don't think so. Jason, how do I do top down without it getting messy? Good question. The first key is to form a bias and don't look at anything else other than that. So have a way of understanding how to read price consistently so that you are bullish or bearish, all right, or sideways. Bullish, bearish, sideways. Once you've done that, you then use your trading time frame to start looking for the setups in that direction. Okay, now that doesn't have to be messy. You don't need a million indicators. You don't need a million different filters. You just need 3 or 4, 2, 3, 4 maximum. Okay, 4 would be an absolute maximum in my opinion. And you practice going through the process of forming a bias on the higher, looking at the setups using those filters on the trading, and then maybe some execution on the lower time frame for tighter stops and trade management. And as Tony says, as you continue to do that consistently, you will eventually become much quicker at it. Or if you don't want to get overwhelmed and you don't want to spend lots of time and you're worried about getting messy, keep it simple. Just stick to one time frame, like trade off of the daily time frame, where you're literally just checking once a day and build a system around that. As we always say, trading success is heavily based around building a trading system that suits you. And that's your personality and your lifestyle. Your personality because of your strike rate, your reward to risk profile, your appetite for risk, the amount of opportunities you get, and your lifestyle in consistency. When can you consistently check the charts? What do you do in the day? What do you do at night? What do you do? You want to make sure that that's consistent as well. Cool cap. Yeah, I'm having a midlife crisis. On the pound yen short, do you consider the demand zone on the 1 hour from the 21st of June? I'm looking at this zone here. So everything from the low on the 15th of July to the high on the 15th of July. Okay. So this is the 1 hour time frame. So we're just looking at this pullback here. With the daily chore strategy, we always go for the signal candle, but do we pay attention to RSI divergence if there is? That's a great filter that you might add. Yeah, you can't say, do we pay attention like there's a definitive answer. You can or you can't. My job is to give you teach you how to fish. And fall in love with the idea of testing an idea. Testing something, to tweak something, to make something, to optimize something. That's when you're going to have success. So great idea push, add it. Go and look at it. How can describe opening market in same time geopolitical situation with Russia and China and Corona, oil, yeah. I'm confused reading your message. My advice is don't look at the news whatsoever. More often than not, I'm only looking mostly at 5-minute and 15-minute time frame. Am I missing these if I only look at these two time frames and make my bias only on 5-minute and 15-minute? As long as you've got a higher time frame bias, you're going to have higher probability. You're going to have a better edge. If you're just on one trading time frame and you're just looking at one trading time frame and it's one of those lower time frames, it's very noisy. You're going to have a way of refining an edge there. And the problem with just one time frame analysis is I see a lot of traders just breaking even over time because they give their profit back because there's no confluence of their setups. So I would consider adding a higher time frame to form a bias, and then when you're looking at those trading time frames, you only look for trade setups in that directional bias. Unless like you're just trading patterns, right? If you're trading advanced patterns, you don't even need higher time frame analysis. You just trade off one thing. If you're trading flag patterns and things like that, yes, you can just trade them on a lower time frame, but you can also use a higher time frame to form a bias to say, well, I'm not going to look for a bearish flag breakout if we're in an overall bullish trend. For me, how I trade flag patterns on the dollar yen, euro dollar, Aussie dollar, and New Zealand dollar, I don't care about the trend. I trade patterns. I trade flag patterns in consolidation. I don't care. So look, the idea is you have these ideas and it sparks something for you to go and I wonder what would happen if I tested this or tweaked this or implemented this. And that's a continuous journey. It's something that never ends. It's not even like a phase that you get over. There's all the prop traders I've met and worked with, they're doing it still continuously. Onto one project, onto the next project, onto the next project. It's never ending. That is trading. That is called maintaining and refining your trading edge. Because your edge goes. Your edge is dissolving all the time. My charts don't care about what's happening in Russia or China or gold. It's so true. So true. What is your risk reward trading flags in a correction? I don't know specifically in a correction because a correction is a very subjective term. I trade flag patterns, and when I trade flag patterns, my minimum risk reward is a 2-to-1. Or 1.8 to 1, something like that. Just remark, if you show the chat on your screen, it's not possible to see the price levels. If you want to see the price levels, you can see the price levels. If you like flashy green and red things. All right, so there's the rollover, guys. Well done if you caught that. This was the first pair we looked at this morning. Double top entry following the ascending channel. At market entry, 93.67. Rollover to structure here. 1-to-1 reward to risk. Blasted through that. So well done if you caught that. Pound dollar, we've broken close below the B leg, so keep an eye out on that. We've got orders. You want to get your limit orders set on that if you trade that. The euro dollar we're looking at for a trend continuation is still pushing up. We need a lower low, lower close. So perhaps we'll get that later on today. And pound Aussie nothing. Pound yen we're waiting for a pullback. Same as we do for the euro dollar, except the euro dollar's had the pullback. We're just looking for entries. Now we're looking for a pullback to even enter the zone. So let's go to the dollar yen. We got dollar yen and New Zealand dollar to get through. Okay, and then we'll call it a day. Let's go out to multi-time frame analysis view. Let's go to the daily on the top chart. Let's get rid of these drawings. With a big push for a greener world, using more solar power and electric vehicles, and with the Middle East, East Asia being connected to a grid, are you speculating with any copper, silver mining stocks? I do hold some precious metal, but I'm not doing it for a reason for that kind of hedge. What I do regularly is try to think as far into the future as possible, okay? And this is an exercise that I do regularly where I'll just sit, and this is my job. This is in my calendar, my job and my exercise is to sit and ponder on how humans are going to drive demand in the future. And I'll sit there and spend 2 hours doing that, okay? Now, one thing that I've always spoke about is the fact that we are all evolving and trying to move towards a simplistic, we're trying to move towards being one. All right? Everyone heard the saying, at one with the universe. At one with the universe. At one with myself. We are one. We are trying to move towards less time, less space. Okay? So if you put that in the real world, what are we doing? Okay? Shops like Amazon, one shop, selling everything as quickly as possible. Right? If you look at energy, solar power, we're using the sun, one energy source. Okay? If you look at connectivity, social media, we're becoming closer and closer via social media. And that's reducing space, reducing time, right? If you look at currency, we are going to go towards one currency. One currency. Okay? That's the whole, that's why cryptocurrency is going to be the future. How it actually looks and how it works, we're going to still be ironing that stuff out. But we are always going towards one. All right? We're going towards one. We are going to be one eventually. If you look at all of the awareness and information around sex, race, discrimination, right? Gender. We're now becoming one gender. Like we're now becoming, you can't become one gender, by the way. Gender is a law. And you can't, there is always going to be two genders. But we are now becoming more open to the fact that we're all one. So, going back to your point, talking about greener world, we're trying to use one energy source, we're trying to use one currency, we're trying to use one shop, one method of communication. If you think in terms of that, when you're in your business or you're thinking about what to invest in, trying to exercise that thought into the future and trying to expand your time and space horizons is going to be very beneficial to you when you're making decisions, particularly in value investing, particularly in trying to identify trends. What's going to be a fad and what isn't? What's going to be a long-term play and what isn't? And do they abide by universal laws and principles that have stood the test of time, and will they be likely to stand the test of time in the future? So, this is what, up until now, gold has been a safe bet. But is it going forward? Probably an answer a lot more long-winded than some of you expect, but that's how my mind works. Mike says, very interesting. Dollar yen looking soft. Thanks to us, Treasury yields heading lower. Very tight correlation between dollar yen and US fixed income. Yields been heading lower since 10 yesterday, so it has to be dollar yen. Why does all logic disappear when real money is at risk? Logic disappears when money is at risk just from an evolutional level. We need to survive. We need money to survive. When money's at risk, we go into survival. We act like animals. There you go. Logic goes out the window because our creative side of our brain that we need to deal with logic disengages. We're then in binary survival, yes or no, fight, flight, freeze mode, which can't handle logic. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Those of you familiar with my Tears of Freedom program, it's built in order of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Because you can't physically do one because of evolution until you've done the one before. Logic disappears when real money is at risk because we need to survive. We need money to survive. When money's at risk, we go into survival, fight, flight, freeze. Logic goes out the window, disengage our creative brain, our frontal cortex. We go back to the amygdala, which is survival, yes or no, binary, feeding, mating, fighting. That's it. Fear, greed. I want to survive. Logic goes out the window. That's it. It's so simple. All right. Dollar yen. Has anyone got anything on the dollar yen? Dollar yen, I'm just going to kind of... let's bring up the 4 hour. Let's just go through. There's really not... I'm not looking at anything on the dollar yen, guys. So other than this pattern trade here, X, A, B, C, D. There's your bat pattern. Very nice looking bat pattern, textbook pattern. Really clear, clean cut, nice and easy to see, pops out. Nice impulse leg, break structure. This is a great setup. Your orders will be at 111.40, stops above your X point at 111.65. Whatever you use for a stop. And then best case scenario targets would be at the 382 at 110.67. All right, so that's that. I'm not going to do anything on this pair other than that. I'm going to skip that. Well done if you caught this on the New Zealand dollar last week. Let's go out to multi-tie. I don't think there's anything on this either. So consolidation. Most of the action and the setups are on the first bunch of pairs here this morning. So Aussie Cad short, which played out already. Aussie dollar not too much. Pound dollar long, which is just about to play out potentially. Euro dollar short, which is a trend continuation. Pound Aussie nothing. Pound yen, a trend continuation setup, which we've got to wait for the pullback. Dollar yen nothing. New Zealand dollar, you can see we're in consolidation here. So let's go consolidation. Let's draw it out for you guys so you can see it really clearly. Here's the consolidation zone. Let's go down to the 4 hour. Form the bias. Consolidation, predict further consolidation. Got the fake break here as well, so I'm not interested in a short. Fake break. Consolidation patterns only. I only trade 2 patterns on this pair, none of which are playing a setup. I wouldn't trade structure consolidation here at where we're at the moment. If we push up to this line here, great. Potential shorting opportunity. We're in the middle of nowhere, in no man's land. No setup here at the moment. Hello, Jason Skinny here from Kenya. Any tips on how I can grow a small account? You can grow a small account. I think the question is how quickly can you grow a small account? And my answer would be consistent. The quickest way to grow any account is to have a system that's profitable, trade it consistently, don't chase shiny objects, prove it to yourself, you owe it to yourself. That's it. That's going to be the quickest way. Otherwise, if you try to take bets and punts, you're going to end up coming back to where you started. You're going to go back and back and back and back. Prove to yourself that you're profitable. Run for 6 months, growing it very, very slowly. Get a return, a decent return. Go out and pitch investors. What do you think of smart money concept traders? In what way? In what way? What do I think of them? What, their approach or like what? Oi oi patch. Dollar CAD, where is take profit? I don't have a trade on dollar CAD. We haven't even looked at dollar CAD. Dollar yen, I didn't have a trade on either. All right, look, let's call it a day here. I'll just answer a couple of last questions because I've got nothing on this pair. I've just summarized what we're looking at and where the juice is, where the opportunities are. But nothing on this. Thoughts on FTMO and other funding companies to help traders become better and consistent whilst trading more capital? I think there's a massive contradiction in what you've just said, because if you're in a competition to help to encourage traders to earn a certain percentage in a certain time frame, would you not argue that that isn't helping them become better and consistent? What I see when I look at those companies is a disguised, how can I say this? Put it this way. Okay, all right, after you're funded, there's no percent to hit. Why do that in the first place? Is that filtering out good traders? Or is it encouraging people to try and earn as much as possible in a quick space of time? What good is that? And here's how I see the whole business model. You pay, I think, up to $1,000 to enter that thing, right? I think it is one of their packages. 90% of traders fail. It doesn't help that they're encouraged to earn a lot of money quickly, which is everything against what professional trading is about. 90% of them fail. Okay? They then fund the 10% with a small amount. So let's just say 1,000 people pay $1,000 to get in. That's $1 million. They've got $1 million. And then let's just say 10% of those get through to the next round because most people give up. And then they fund a small portion of money to those traders. I think they're quids in. I think it's win-win. Yeah, they make stupid money, of course. So what's the difference between that business model and the business model of, I'll give you a 2-day trading course, it's $2,500, you come in, take the course, and you'll be a trader? What's the difference? One, it's not helping you become a trader, you're not learning anything, and you've got the wrong incentive. Two, 90% of the people that do it are going to fail. It's the same business model, but just disguised a different way, cleverly persuading people to make them think it's helping them, which is genius. Right? It's a bit like how they've rebranded the flu and persuaded everyone that their existence is at risk. to strip you of your freedom. All right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed today. We've had a 2-hour session. It's been a good one. I like these sessions. Maybe we'll run one again in the future. If you want to come into the live room and really hone in on these pairs, get into the tier 1 platform, and I'll see you guys in there. And it's Thursday, so I'll update you guys in the platform with these when they play out, how I'm managing them if I get into them, and we'll be back tomorrow for the accountability session. So until then, take care, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you then.